Arsenal are ready to take the step to the next level. There's two pieces of unbelievable news coming out I'm so excited about. I want to speak to you about it, but also there's an interesting discussion online about one Arsenal player in particular that I want to get your thoughts on. Just very quickly though, before we get into it, just do me a favour, hit like on this video. So the first thing I'm going to speak about is Arsenal could actually be signing a new striker. And you might be thinking, well, I haven't seen this news, but you need to read between the lines with what's currently happening at Arsenal, okay? Eddie Nketiah is leaving, and I'm going to tell you why. Arsenal now have to go and buy a striker, and why I think they will, okay? So listen to what David Ornstein said. Arsenal ready to sanction Eddie Nketiah exit for Marseille. Proposed deal, loan plus obligation in region of 30 million euros. Personal terms for 25-year-old striker agreed on a 5-year contract. Like I said, this is exciting because Arsenal have to replace this player. First of all, let me know your thoughts on that Eddie Nketiah deal. What are your thoughts on the fee? I think there's a lot of there's a lot of confusion out there. I watched a video earlier and they were saying Eddie Nketiah is only going to Marseille on a loan deal. But look, they have to buy this player. Eddie does go there on loan, so it's a loan for the first season, but then they have to pay this fee, so that's guaranteed money. So Arsenal do have to go and buy a striker. Like I said, 30 million euros. Let me know your thoughts on that. Is that a fair fee? I know so many people in my comment section so many times have just been saying, just sell this player, get him off the books. So 30 million euros. Let me know your thoughts on that. And like I said, I'm excited because Arsenal now have to replace Eddie. Like, they can't not, because Eddie has been an option that Mikel Arteta last season was happy to turn to the bench and used. So not only, like, he's not a starting 11 player, fair enough, but he is definitely a squad player that gets minutes. We've seen Emil Smith-Rowe leave, and people are expecting Ethan Nwaneri to now go take his minutes. But with Eddie Nketiah, if he leaves, who takes his minutes? Arsenal have to replace him. Like I said, it's a fairly decent fee as well, but will Arsenal go out and just spend the 30 million euros and get a like-for-like kind of player? Or will they add an extra 40 or 50 million and now go and buy Victor Gyokeres, for example? I know so many of you guys want Victor Gyokeres. I understand. I want Gyokeres too. If Arsenal can just add the extra money and go and get him, like, it probably was an unreasonable transfer target about 2 months ago, because the fee that they was putting out is saying we're not going to sell this player for less than 100 million euros. And at that price, you're probably thinking that is too much of a gamble. But when did we hear the news? It was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. We heard news that they might be willing to accept £60 million for this player. So if Arsenal had just got 30 million euros, say what, £25 million, pay the extra and just go and get Victor Gyokeres. I think this is the perfect chance. I think we're going to now see movement in the striking department for Arsenal because we have to. Like I said, we have to replace this body. Arsenal, if they don't replace this player, I think we could be in trouble next season. People will say, well, not necessarily, because we've got Havertz and we've got Gabriel Jesus, both of whom look very sharp in pre-season, but you still need to replace players that are leaving. Like Eddie Nketiah, the plan has always been try and sell Eddie in the summer and then replace him, spend more money and get a better player. If you want to keep improving as a football team, you have to literally just do that. Just keep improving. If you sell a player who's quite good, you go and buy a great player. Or if you sell a player who's good, you go and buy a great player. This is the perfect opportunity for Arsenal to really make a statement. Sell Eddie Nketiah, but go and buy a striker. Go buy Gyokeres. Go and buy Osimhen. Go and have a look. Have a word with Juventus. Do you want to sell Vlahovic? Go and buy a striker. People are saying Jesus can play right wing. Look, we've seen Fabio Vieira played right wing. He's not good enough to play right wing for Arsenal. If we're just being blunt, Fabio Vieira is not a good enough right winger for Arsenal. We need better than that. Gabriel Jesus, in my opinion, can play back up to Saka on the right wing. We haven't seen it too much. That doesn't mean it won't happen though. Havertz, we know he can play striker. You do still need a couple of strikers, so these guys can still get minutes. But this is just a perfect opportunity. Havertz can play 8 and he can play as a striker. Jesus can play on the wings and can play striker. Go and buy a specialised striker. Eddie Nketiah, no matter what ability you thought he had, he was a specialised striker. Like, if you look at Eddie, you can't say, oh, he's quite good on the wings or he's quite good in midfield. Eddie Nketiah is a striker. Go and replace that striker with a like-for-like. Go out there and buy a striker. Let me know if you think that's what Arsenal will do now. That's why I'm excited. I seriously think Arsenal are now going to go and buy a striker. Who? I'm not sure. I'm just excited to now because we're going to start being linked with strikers. Arsenal have to go out there and start making movements. Who do you think they should go for? Who do you think they will go for? The next bit of news, again, it's exciting. Listen to this. Look, Fabrizio Romano, the main man, come out and said Arsenal remain in active talks to complete Mikel Merino deal. More steps to follow. Merino has agreed on personal terms with Arsenal. Clubs keep working on deal structure / payment terms. Fee over 25 million euros. Atletico and Barca have already been informed of Merino's decision to join AFC. Like, he only now wants Arsenal. There was kind of a few rumours, maybe as little as a week or so ago. Merino is interested in joining Barcelona over Arsenal. But now Fabrizio coming out and saying, no, Merino only wants Arsenal. I think that's massive. Going into this window, Arsenal had to improve that central midfield position. It was kind of something they had to do. Like, we are kind of weak in midfield. I see some people saying Arsenal aren't weak in midfield. My opinion is, at the minute, Arsenal are kind of weak. I'm not talking in terms of quality, because Rice is good. On his day, Partey's good. On his day, Jorginho is good. But I think you do definitely need an extra body in there. And yes, I am excited to see minutes given to Nwaneri. Yes, I am excited to see potential minutes given to Lewis Skelly in that CDM position, which is something I think we can see happen. But we definitely still need another body in there. Moreno, a big, strong, powerful, ball-winning, duel-winning centre midfielder, I think is perfect. I think he would slot in, and at that price, 25 million euros is peanuts. People will say he's slightly older. He's not old. Yes, he's pushing late 20s, but I think he still has a good 4 or 5 years in him. Central midfielders can play into their mid to late 30s. We've seen it. So I would definitely be excited about this deal. I do think it, like I said, if it's coming from Romano, there has to be legs in it. I expect this deal hopefully to be announced within the next week or so. I think Arsenal need to get a move on, just to agree them payment structures, agree terms, get it done. I don't see what the hold up is. Very exciting. Look, the last bit I wanted to speak to you guys about is there's this interesting discussion going online. I thought was, like I said, it's definitely worth. So look at this. Timber. It's so much discussion going on about jurrien Timber. And the latest kind of discussions I'm seeing online is many people believe that jurrien Timber is going to be used in that central defensive midfield position for Arsenal next season. Let me know your thoughts on this. When I first read this, I was kind of like, I haven't seen anything to believe that could happen. But then I was looking at it and thinking, well, we haven't really seen jurrien Timber that much. So could Mikel Arteta play him in that position? Yes. Is he capable of playing that position? I guess so. The fact we've been brung in Calafiori now, does that offer the opportunity to play Timber in that number 6 position? I would never say no. I can't see it personally happening, but it's definitely an interesting conversation. Will Mikel Arteta want to play Timber in that number 8 position, in that number 6 position? Let me know. I'll tell you why maybe he would. We've seen when players come in, Mikel Arteta isn't shy of changing their positions. Defence, Tomiyasu, Kivior, Ben White, all of these players coming in a certain position. And Mikel Arteta hasn't been afraid to change their position. Ben White was a centre-back, he went right back. Tomiyasu, centre-back, played left-back, played right-back. We've seen him do it before, but not as much as this. Kivior, only a centre-back, played him left-back. Not only him, Havertz, he was a winger or a striker. Mikel Arteta said, no, I see him as a central midfielder. Who else? Declan Rice, started as a centre-back, played all of his career in the number 6 position. Mikel Arteta said, no, I see him as an 8. So Mikel Arteta isn't shy of giving players opportunities to play in positions that maybe wouldn't seem like the natural fit. So could he play Timber in that number 6? Yes. The only other thing I'm seeing is people saying Zinchenko, why don't he play him in midfield? It's a question we've asked through parts of last season. I'm sure some of you guys will remember some of us saying, why is he not playing Zinchenko in midfield? But he's kind of come out and said that won't happen. Like, someone said it to him in the press conference and he said, no, Zinchenko needs to focus on earning his position at left back before worrying about coming into midfield. So it just seems Mikel Arteta doesn't see something quite right in Zinchenko to want to put him in that number 8 position. The amount of times I've seen in my comment section, why don't Arteta just play Zinchenko in central midfield? Like, just give him a go in that left 8. It would seem he's perfect for it. The only thing I would say is he combative enough? That's why I've kind of never thought he would be good in that position. Like, yes, he's good technically. Yes, he's good at progressing the ball. Yes, he's good at finding a pass. But it's just that them defensive actions. We saw it against Leverkusen. He got dribbled past quite easily. Like, I was quite excited with Zinchenko from what I saw going forward, but we can't pretend that Zinchenko struggles defensively. Like, he did get dribbled past a couple of times where it's making you think, if this was a real game, if this was Liverpool with Mo Salah, or if this was Man City, like, they're basically in. So, yes, I like some things that Zinchenko does, progressing the ball and technically dropping into midfield, but he's just so vulnerable defensively. That's why I don't see him playing in that central midfield position, and that's obviously why I think Mikel Arteta doesn't seem comfortable enough playing him in that left 8 position when it is something that so many people are calling out for. And now I'm seeing it with Timber. Why don't he play Timber in CDM? It was kind of, I remember when Man United were going to sign him, and so many people were saying, oh, we're going to sign him as a CDM, even though he's a left back or he's a centre back. That's where he's played most of his career. I thought the thing we're going to do with Timber is play him left back. Now Calafiori's come in. I'm not too sure. If I had to look at it, I would say jurrien Timber's probably going to be used as defensive reinforcements for maybe Saliba or Ben White. I think Calafiori's going to be the left back. I think Tomiyasu's going to be cover. I think jurrien Timber can be cover with options to maybe force their way into the starting lineup. Like, there's nothing to say that jurrien Timber can't force Ben White out of his right back position. Would it be a shock? Yeah, because Ben White is one of our most consistent defenders. Would it be a shock for him to play centre-back in quite a few games? Yes, I don't think he's going to disrupt that centre-back partnership of Gabriel and Saliba, but Saliba played every single Premier League game last season, so he does need rest. He does need a player who's capable of playing behind him. Now, jurrien Timber is a totally different player to Saliba, so I'd be interested to see how that works if he was to play with a Gabriel left centre-back and then jurrien Timber right centre-back, because, you know, we're so used to seeing Saliba there. He's so big, so strong, so powerful. I guess what jurrien Timber does have is that pace, so I think teams will struggle to play it in behind, but them crosses into the box, maybe that's why some people would say I don't fancy seeing Timber at centre-back, but all I would say is, look, Timber's played there for basically his whole career. I'm interested to see what happens with jurrien Timber next season. In regards to the discussion I'm seeing online, do I think Timber will be the number 6 for Arsenal next season? No, I don't. That don't mean it won't happen, though. Just because I think it won't happen doesn't mean it won't. Let me know your thoughts on it, though. What are your thoughts on Eddie Nketiah to Marseille? Does that now mean Arsenal have to go out and buy a striker? That's what I think. Let me know your thoughts on it. Merino, do you think that deal's going to happen? In my opinion, it's only a matter of time before that deal gets announced. And what's your thoughts on the jurrien Timber thing? Do you think he will just be a defender for Arsenal? Or maybe can you see him pushing into that central midfield position for Arsenal? Thanks so much to everyone for watching and listening. Before you go, like I said, just do me a favour. Hit like on this video. Just like it and subscribe. And also, going into next season, I'm going to be doing a lot more, or having a lot more conversation on Twitter. So make sure for next season you are following my Twitter. I'll flash it up now. Just give me a follow. I don't really post too much on there, but going into the next season, I think it's going to be an easy opportunity for us to communicate throughout the day. When I'm maybe not on YouTube, maybe you can catch me on Twitter and we can have some discussion during games or after games or before games. So make sure you're following me on Twitter as well and all my socials. The Gooner Factory, I'll flag them now on the screen. Like I said, thanks for watching. Just like this video and subscribe, and I'll speak to you all in tomorrow's video. Gooners, have a good day.